So we've got some rumors, some RTX 2060 rumors. Not only do we have a benchmark, and if like this graphics card is showing up on a benchmark database, but there's a lot of things that you can not only infer, but a lot of really promising information that we hopefully can get out of this, and not only this benchmark, but for what we may see in the future, like release dates, performance, specs, things like that. So I'm going to be talking a lot about, actually doing a lot of talking in this video. I'm going to probably break it up and make sure I'm very clear about a couple things. First of all, I want to talk about what we know for a fact, what can be heavily inferred, like you'd assume based off of what we saw with like the previous or the upper 20 series cards compared to 10 series cards we can expect to see. And then there's stuff that I think most likely will happen. And so I'm going to split those up, make sure I'm very clear about those, and then also kind of explain what's rumor and what's not. So RTX 2060. Well, first off, I'm going to get on a quick tangent real quick to talk about something. Nvidia has just released a 1060, a newer model 1060 with higher RAM speeds. They just released that. And then they're also putting benchmarks out on a 2060. Now, first off, also keep in mind that I 100% believe this was not on purpose, or this was on purpose, because Nvidia has done in the past where they kind of section out and they kind of post little snippets of what's going on, so that way all the tech tubers make YouTube videos about it, and then that way, like when you have like, in particular, they have a lot of unboxing embargoes and like review embargoes and all this stuff, and benchmark embargoes and overclocking embargoes. They have all these embargoes so that basically all the YouTubers are required to make so many videos about it. And this is just what I think is they're making this, they're putting this benchmark out there just to get people interested, and just to have the YouTubers make videos about it, have the YouTubers talk about it, and then, you know, hopefully when the graphics card comes out, when they post it on a website, then everyone will make another video like, oh yeah, we got confirmed, and pretty much like, I'm guilty of it, I'll do it, but that's kind of what people are interested, but you eventually see that that's kind of what they're doing. So let's talk about this and how this stacks up. Well, a lot of people are like, it's engineering samples, but what we've seen with Nvidia, especially with the 20 series, is that they're going to be pretty close to releasing. I would say give or take 6 months. I expect to see the new graphics card. So where does this graphics card stack up? Well, it compares to a 1070 and an old 1070, and it's about 30% faster than a 1060. It's like 7% lower than a 1070. Sorry. And so I also want to get off on a slight tangent as well. So we saw with the ray tracing features that not only is ray tracing when you're actually doing the ray tracing part, not the AI RTX consists of two parts: the ray tracing or the individual AI modeling, or it's not AI, it's the AI algorithms that allow the graphics to look different. I'm actually not quite too sure on what it does, but it basically I know what ray tracing does, but it just seems like this thing that they add on to its RTX. Seems like an extra to me. But the ray tracing part, which only currently one game supports, that I'm aware of, Battlefield 5, I believe, only one game supports it. And so this 20 series, and when they do all the benchmarks and stuff, it really hits these high-end graphics cards. Something that, you know, without ray tracing, gets like 120 FPS, gets now like 50 to 40 FPS. So my question is, if that's the 2080 Ti and the 2070 gets, you know, 20 to 50 FPS on a good day, what does that leave the RTX 2060 to do? Now I understand if they price this reasonably and they have ray tracing, I just don't see where ray tracing would have value. Why? Because it would be nearly unplayable. Well, why? Because if you're getting low frame rates, if we see similar frame rates as we saw on the upper cards kind of scaling down, it'd be a little disappointing to get 10 to 15 FPS while playing a game. And I understand that this card will still have the same performance increase, the 30% performance increase, and it will definitely be a good card. But if we see anything like we saw with the 20 series, where the cards are super pricey, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see them pricing this at like the $500 mark. I think if they put it at that price, there's going to be no point to buy a 2060 when you could get the newest 1060, the 5GB GDDR6 or GDDR5X, and get the newest one and for like $300 or $200 online now. You can see that. So, and then of course AMD is releasing a 590 that actually they have released a 590. So what I'm trying to say is, it just seems like the market where it's kind of fitting in, I'd rather get frame rates over RTX, or sorry, ray tracing, because RTX, please keep in mind, is two separate things, and they don't specify usually which. So like some games will say they have RTX support, but they'll only do the AI. I think it's just excuse to have the RTX logo on there, and so they'll only have the RTX part, and then there'll be the ray tracing part as well. So what can I infer off of what we saw previously in the 20 series, what we saw in the upper cards, and what we can infer those specs are going to be? So first off, we know that there is probably going to be GDDR5 or GDDR6 in the graphics card. I would assume the cores are probably slightly up. I'm assuming that we'll have some of the, what is it? I'm trying to remember. It's the ray tracing cores. I'm assuming it will probably be an even step down as well. I really think that what we're going to see the most out of is just going to be a mid-range card. Well, not really mid-range. It's supposed to be an upper range card. I still can't believe they're pricing these things so dang expensive. But I think it will definitely be like Nvidia's mid-range card. And I think that they'll probably price it around $400 to $500 if they follow the same pricing scheme, which blows my mind as well. They're not miners buying these cards, guys. We don't have that kind of money. And they price it similar, and then I also don't see where the ray tracing part will fit in. I wouldn't be surprised for them to disable the ray tracing and then they only have like the AI part, and that would be kind of disappointing as well. I just don't see anybody buying the ray tracing, buying it for the ray tracing, using the ray tracing if they're going for a 2060, because it just doesn't have the value there. Like there's no reason to get a graphics card that will only play 15 FPS with this main feature on. And by the way, only one game that currently supports it at the time of recording this video. So just there's a lot of questions. I want to know what your all thoughts are down in the description or down in the comments. That'd be great, because I'm really curious on what you guys think. I blows my mind. I'm curious to see if like I'm the only one that can make those same assumptions and stuff. I really would like to know your thoughts. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Check out my channel for other cool news, tech builds, computer builds, leaks, discussion, things like that. But thank you very much for watching.